Players have a nice update coming to the COD HQ soon ahead of the Black Ops 6 launch that should prove to organize and make the flow of all the titles a bit easier to manage. But in addition to this update, one of the key items coming out of that is also a change that some players have been asking for since March of 2020. 4.5 years later. That change is finally coming in full with this update, it seems, and with Black Ops 6 moving forward. Today we're taking a bit of a look at the infrastructure changes ahead of Black Ops 6 and what it means for not only the premium Black Ops 6 experience, but also the overall COD HQ as a whole. Drop your thoughts down below, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all things Black Ops 6. We're pushing towards 600,000 subscribers, mega lofty goal. I'd love to see if we can hit that by launch, or at least come close. I didn't think it was possible pre-Modern Warfare 2, but you guys crushed it then. Maybe we can do it again. But anyways, make sure you subscribe for more Black Ops 6 and other FPS content. I'd love to have you in the community. For now, let's get into it. So over 2 months ago now, we saw our first look and first roadmap for the plans of a road to launch. While it wasn't anything flashy as something like a roadmap to Black Ops 6's launch with content plans and rollout and such, and while we recently just got some changes about the beta to launch versions of the game, this was detailing the infrastructure changes coming in the near future. In an article on the COD blog entitled Optimizing the Call of Duty Experience, a roadmap to Black Ops 6's launch, we learned a few things that we've already seen enacted and others still to come. The main focus of these updates coming and still to come at that point was to focus and stress on a new streamlined interface, direct access to games, more control over downloads including Warzone content, and expanding streaming technology to reduce file sizes. Now these updates started with the Season 5 Reloaded rollout. That update was something that introduced the new tech, as they mentioned, to expand the streaming technologies to reduce file sizes. That was meant to reorganize data in preparation for Black Ops 6's beta, and then eventually the launch. That was that massive update that players were required to download that on the surface was a massive update, but in the grand scheme of things would decrease the amount of data required to be installed for the COD experience. Then we saw the inclusion of the Black Ops 6 beta, been there, done that, played and experienced. But the next part of what was detailed in this blog was a dubbed new user interface. Surely anyone who's used the COD HQ is familiar with the current user interface and likely has at some point been like, I don't really care for the way this looks. Well, it appears even COD was like, okay, let's make some changes, because come mid-October, we're getting a new interface. Even while giving us a new preview of the full experience above that Black Ops 6 interface that we saw in the beta, we've already seen what it will look like as the COD HQ umbrella. But while we have this preview, we don't have a specific date for when this will be released, just mid-October. So that would leave one to believe maybe a week or two before the launch of Black Ops 6, given the launch timeline, which also could just be the case of when things end for like ranked play going offline, which right now appears to be October 17th. So quite literally a week and a day before the launch of Black Ops 6. So perhaps another larger title update will take ranked and everything offline like that, and then again introduce this to the full Call of Duty experience and give a week of runway before Black Ops 6 is fully integrated into this new COD HQ. This new interface's landing page, though, will focus on the games and is said to give players the ability to directly access those games, featuring the most recent titles and Warzone in the easiest panels to access, meaning you won't have to end up scrolling down or up vertically, rather you'll see them all right front and center in the first row of content. Now, it said that initially there will be a transition period when the new landing page goes live before Black Ops 6 launches. During this time, Modern Warfare 3 and Call of Duty Warzone will be the featured titles, and players will need to cross-launch into each of those games. This paves the way for Black Ops 6 to smoothly enter as a featured title on October 25th. So what you had in the Black Ops 6 beta, where you had to open the COD HQ and then launch another separate application, that appears to be the case with what will happen with Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone until Black Ops 6 is again that sort of seamless launch point then when the game releases. This is important for a reason we'll touch on in a second, but that update to the UI and COD HQ will be live before anything else, even Black Ops 6. So okay, that's cool, a new UI, finally. But that's only something we've seen introduced with the COD HQ. We didn't have any complaints with the UI in Modern Warfare 2019, so what's that mention of 4.5 years all about? Well, Warzone decoupled. So with the Season 5 Reloaded update, it did kick off the ability to decouple Warzone from the Modern Warfare 3 application and Modern Warfare 2. But even now, while you can uninstall the Modern Warfare 3 segment, there looks to be an even cleaner break and even split from the mainline offerings with Black Ops 6's update for the game and come that integration. It's quite possible Black Ops 6 will have no associated game files for Warzone that are needed with the premium paid experience, as Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2 both had some underlying things that were shared, but Black Ops 6 doesn't appear to have that upcoming. Instead, you'll just be able to uninstall or install Warzone to your choosing. If you don't like to play Warzone, You don't have to have it installed or on your console or PC at any point. Something that we really haven't had full and total control of, again, since Warzone launched in Modern Warfare 2019, back in 2020. Everything was tethered then to Modern Warfare 2019, and then we still had some underlying aspects within COD 2.0, Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 having some of those base files required. Now, this is great for a number of different reasons, but also introduces few more questions for the future. Obviously, it's great because it gives players the choice. You don't need to waste any data or any storage space on something you're not going to use. That's always great, especially now in today's day and age where it's like Call of Duty's the meme file size, where it's hundreds of gigabytes for just a simple game. It's nice to be able to shave off a decent chunk of that if you don't want to play it. But again, it also poses some interesting hypotheticals that soon probably won't be hypotheticals. With this making it its own thing, setting up the architecture under the COD HQ, every team is going to be using the same dev tools, same engine, and so on. We've seen this happen since Modern Warfare 2 was released in 2022. That's going to be the path going forward for at least the foreseeable future. I don't see an engine break between studios happening at all in the next 5 years or so. This makes it easy for some teams, if they need to pick up some slack of another, to work and pick up seamlessly on those tool sets that they're all using. It makes it easy to port items into Warzone with each integration and doesn't break anything like we saw with, say, Black Ops Cold War's integration or Vanguard's integration with Warzone. But also because it sets up Warzone as its own experience and its own bubble, which can hypothetically then introduce sort of roadblocks. The most potentially apparent of these is the recent announcement of XP tokens not transferring to Black Ops 6. That's the most, I think, visually apparent thing that you'll see and be like, well, why doesn't that transfer one-to-one? If the COD HQ is meant to be this unifying body of the COD franchise going forward, it would propose the notion that everything account-related on a platform would transfer normally, right? COD points, obviously, but then things like calling cards, emblems, XP tokens, and more. But with Black Ops 6 hard blocking these things, that means that all those items will be in Warzone, but not Black Ops 6. So there's got to be an artificial barrier created there, it appears. Also, it can hypothetically create a standalone Warzone feeling going even further into the future. So what I mean by this is that the last 3 years of Warzone, since we've had the COD HQ version of Warzone, Warzone 2.0, the last 3 years we've seen foundational changes as of the Season 1 integration, when Warzone is introduced, that directly correlates with that mainline premium title of that year. Modern Warfare 2 was a slower, tactical nature of mechanics in Warzone 2's launch, and then Raven eventually started to negate some of those things and tried to, as the year went by, to speed up the pace of play a little bit. Modern Warfare 3, we saw all those movement changes in this sort of, LOL, this is what Infinity Ward did, we're not doing that at all. That sort of marketing ploy of what Modern Warfare 3 was. All those movement changes made in Modern Warfare 3's mainline game were then applied to Warzone. And same thing going forward with Black Ops 6. All movement, including that Omni movement, made in Black Ops 6 will be applied to Warzone come the integration in Season 1. So if that's the case and we see this become its own thing, its own standalone little bubble, later on down the line, maybe like Warzone 3 in 2026 with Infinity Ward's next rotational outing, that Warzone could, in theory, end up being its own thing, and those yearly gameplay adjustments may not make it into the game, bringing back full circle to be the whole Modern Warfare 2019 versus Cold War scenario, but without the developmental failures of porting entire catalogs of weapons on different engines. Something that would make Warzone have its own distinct feel, like you'd say in the past, be able to tell this is a Modern Warfare game or this is a Black Ops game, but without, again, any sort of problems that would happen post Season 1 integration that we saw on a yearly basis with Cold War and Vanguard. Those both introduced some catastrophic problems for both balancing, but then Vanguard actually broke the game, but different story for a different day. So those sort of hard barriers that may end up being set to create its own standalone experience is something that poses more questions for the future. But for the COD HQ itself, I think that what we're going to see is some much needed changes, but the big questions, those big picture things, those are probably like the next 3 to 5 years worth of content and questions and how the games will all work with each other. So for me, that's a lot of we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but for the time being, just bear in mind that those could happen. I'd say they're probably like 50-50 hypotheticals, but just something to think about. Either way, looking forward to the revamp of the UI. What do you guys think of the look of it? Do you like what we're going to see with this new UI? Do you still prefer the one we have right now? Whatever the case, let me know your thoughts down below. But if you guys enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor, drop a like on the video, and of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 6 as we gear up for the launch here, upcoming in just under a month's time. Kind of crazy that we're already getting that close to it, but we'd love to have you guys in the community. For now, though, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care, and peace.